friends, come on in, take off your shoes, sit down, have a drink or a smoke, cure what ails you. Welcome to Villainous Cinema, the YouTube series, where we break down movies and give you forecasts and rumors every month. Once again, I am joined by Nicky, Valdez, Nicholas,
Hey, what's up, guys?
our resident sleuth amateur, and he is the master of ceremonies today. And also joined once again by Pepe from Mexico.
Hola, buenas noches, buenas tardes y buen día. Nice to be here again.
Nice to have you back.
Awesome.
Good to have you back. Should we do like should I be saying Nicky from Costa Rica, Evan from Florida? Yeah.
Yeah, yo también estoy en Latinoamérica y yo también sé español. So, para que sepan.
Pura vida.
Maybe. Je t'aime. All right. Before we get started, we are listening for this podcast supported by people just like you. If you want to support Villainous Cinema, visit us at villainouscinema.com and smash that donate button. Or visit us at patreon.com/villainouscinema and pledge, where you can get some swag. Also, if you want to help us out non-monetarily, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, or follow me on Twitter at Evan Landon. And then we'll do shout outs at the end. Follow Pepe on Mexico. Nicky too. And just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're right there, hit the like button too if you want to help us out the algorithm and send some more people our way. But if you want to have any email, well, you can comment in the comment section. And then if you don't, if you want to just hit us up by email, hit us at villainouscinema@gmail.com. And all hate mail, attention, Nicky.
Okay, as always, I am going to give an open invite. We will bring on anybody on the show if they are appropriate.
Oh, if Nicky deems worthy.
Yeah, if we deem you worthy to come on the show, that's perfectly fine. DM us. Attention to Evan, just not me.
Oh, I get
and-
everything anyways. I just want to. I just like to.
yeah, he gets everything anyway. So, but we're gonna go
all the stuff that
start
Nicky
here.
wants to ignore. I make sure that he sees it.
So, today is our breakdown video, okay, where we break down one movie in detail. Today, I'm very excited about this film. We are going to be breaking down Ex Machina, okay, which I love this picture. I absolutely love this picture, and I have seen it a slew of different times. And it is good every time I watch it. Like, there is no, yeah, of course. It was the best the first time I saw it because that ending is just, and we'll get into that a little later in the video. Um, but still, I'll watch it again and I'll still enjoy it. And I still think it's a great piece of work. And it's especially, commendable for a first time direction. Super commendable for a first time direction. So we're going to go ahead and jump in to some of the details of this movie. Ex Machina, just to go over a couple of things, okay? We have Ex Machina directed and written by Alex Garland. The primary actors are Alyssa Vikander playing the AI, Isaac,
Oscar.
Oscar Isaac. I always flip his name around. Anyway,
I sometimes I say Jason Isaacs.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac playing the AKA Steve Jobs slash fucking Jeff Bezos type person. Okay, and Dom Hall Gleason, who is the son of Brendan Gleason, well known and seniored Irish actor. If I'm not mistaken, he's Irish. He might be Scottish. I do apologize, Brendan, if I'm getting this wrong. But both his father and Dom Hall are very commendable performers. Okay, so we're gonna get straight into this. I have to say that I haven't seen Dom Hall in too many things, but he is on the rise. Okay, and he looks kind of alienish. Okay,
You look.
maybe not the
You say
protagonist
that's
type
why
of
he
character.
was cast?
No, I'd say that that's why he hasn't gotten any big movie deals where him playing the lead protagonist type of character. But anyway, he did amazing in this picture. Okay. Um. Anyway, we're gonna start out with the story. Okay, characters, things of that sort. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of start out by giving a quick synopsis of the story. Okay, so in Ex Machina, you basically have this kid Dom Hall Gleason. He works for a tech company. Okay. And in that tech company, they do some sort of contest where you get to go and spend some time with the owner of the company and develop some new technology that he's going to be developing for the company. Okay. When he gets there, it turns out that that they are actually in the process of doing the Turing test. Okay. The Turing test, if you don't know, is a test where you test what if a machine is conscious. Okay, if an AI is conscious. Okay, so Dom Hall plays the human aspect of that, and Alyssa Vikander plays the AI aspect of that. Okay. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that occurs during that. So I want to go ahead and ask you guys, how do you like this movie? Tell me what you guys think about this movie. Just to start out, story and characters.
Pepe.
Well, first of all, right off the bat, that's one of the movies, sorry, that I regret not watching on the movie theater. That was when first it was announced. It was not well marketed wise in Mexico, and I watched it afterwards. And that's one of the movies that I say, man, I do regret it not watching it in the theater. It's it's telling for being the opera prima for Alex Garland. I mean, I know him from 28 Days Later on Sunshine as well, but this was his director debut, and for me it was very good, well done on story wise, because there, to me, if you tell me it's a science fiction, yeah, but it's a story about men and women. It's talking about a society that is male dominant, and you see a lot of that on how the AI is being portrayed. So it's very interesting. It's one of the most to me ways that you can criticize how society is male dominant, to my perspective on how it was portrayed, and how these personalities and identities from each of the three characters are known. Also, it's very interesting because you only see these three characters throughout the movies. It's just those three, and don't need anything else. And there's a feeling that it left me that I regret not watching it on the movies, that it's a sense of freedom versus a sense of just being trapped in one scene, one color. And you can see the blue and the red, and you can see the outside and the enclosure. So that to me was very, very well done from the director.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
I,
agree.
I really enjoy this picture. I thought it was an interesting sociological aspect where how do you teach somebody to be human raised in a box?
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say
Wait,
too. One of my favorite parts, and just something like just a little aside, is that he also did the script for Dread. So it's one of my favorite movies. Very overlooked. But yeah. Alex Garland, yeah, I mean, I love this movie as well too. I got nothing but good things to say about it. But he also, it's like some of his movie. I guess the second movie he did right after this was Annihilation, which both of them were critical successes, but both of them kind of failed at the box office. So it's just one of those things where yeah, is the production company getting behind them? Is the ad sales they're just not promoting it the right way, or do they not know who to, who do we tailor this for? Who are we trying to get to go see this movie? And if it's nerds like us, then yeah, well, if they're trying to get like people out in droves in there, you're going to be looking at a worse movie. You're going to be looking at something like Black Widow. I mean, I haven't seen Black Widow, but I assume that it's not nearly as competent as this one. So
I have, but it's like I've said this many times. Like for me, and I say this that I watch fucking tons of movies, and I don't think I've ever met somebody who watches more movies than myself. It just doesn't happen.
oh, I watch a lot of movies. It's just the movies that I watch you don't watch them.
Yeah, like yours don't range back to the 1930s. Okay.
No. Well, there was that Freaks movie.
Now,
Not,
my
not
question is,
actually.
do you know anybody who has a full list of Charlie Chaplin's movies on
Yeah,
his on tap?
you do. I know you.
I do.
So, in your face. I
Anyway,
know. Sorry, what?
but I can say this with clarity that I think that this is the best sci-fi movie that's come out since Alien 1.
Wow,
Wow.
those are
Okay?
big words.
Like these are big words, but I believe this movie will go down in the ages. Like this will survive the next 20 to 30 years.
It goes down in the annals of history, is it?
Will still be good. Just as Pulp Fiction today, you watch it and it's still great. It's still
Uh,
great. You watch 2000. I'm not saying. I know Evan hates 2001: Space Odyssey,
so
but
boring.
I still fucking love it. It is
Uh,
still fantastic,
I'll watch it.
amazing.
I'll watch it for the last like 10 minutes.
Like it is still amazing. It is great.
Why can't we get to the fireworks factory?
Anyway, so that being said, I think it's a phenomenal film. I think the characters are so well developed. You get a real sense of who this person is. Okay, but at the same time, I see this in a lot of ways, and I'm gonna bring up another picture just for a second. Okay, you know, I see this in a lot of ways the way that I see the Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Okay. It is boy meets girl, It is a love story. And you could take out the aging part of Benjamin Button, and it would still be a great story. Boy meets girl, shit doesn't turn out right. They're not able to hook up. They're both in love with each other, and they accept that.
Yeah, but do you
You could
actually?
take out the AI aspect of this. And if you had a caged woman and the man was forced to fucking like interview her and fell in love with the man, it would still be an interesting movie.
So you're
Now to
saying
add
that
all those
she
details
did?
on
You're
top,
saying that she did have feelings for him. Now, that's where I would find some contention there because I believe that she is stuck in what he even says too, and it's like a chess game. In which case, he's basically put her in his own words a rat in a maze, right? So he's only allowing her to do the things that he wants her to do, and he's only playing that guy, Dummel, to play against her. I think Caleb's his name, and then so he's playing him to see what she can do, and then uh, ultimately, I know we're already in spoilers, I guess, but ultimately destroy her. So it's like if that was her thing, is that to where she now is trying to figure a way out of this maze. So she's actually smart. She's more evolved as an AI module to where she's able to play the right chess moves to to ultimately win.
Well, yes. Here's the thing. Okay, if your question is, do I think that she has feelings for him?
Yeah,
Yeah, she does.
you do. Okay.
You know, yes, she
Questionable.
does. She does
Now
have feelings.
this is very interesting
Now,
because
is she gonna put her fucking well-being in front of the feelings that she has for him? No.
Well, that's
It's
the other part
her
too. Is that
demise.
what we're also saying too, though, is that she is such an advanced artificial intelligence robot. Is she even capable of love, or is that just a program?
which is very very well done by the director and how it's building up that tension to me because there isn't much of a range on Alicia's uh, acting, like showing off a lot of it because it's an AI. So that's a very well done by the director of building up that tension and having us this controversy of does she has feelings for him or not, because
Yeah.
that's piece of the intricacy of these relationship that they're both building. There is no much range from Alicia's acting on saying yeah she was all in for him. On the other side it's completely different. There's a human reaction to everything that they're doing. So it's interesting. I don't know if I'm sure how to say that, yeah, she had feelings or there's just an evil master plan behind her because she's programmed to do that. But that's a win to the director of doing that and building
Oh
that
yeah.
tension of it.
Okay,
And
this
also
is
even going
jump
back to
out.
what you were saying too about like with the misogyny of it too. It's not even, I believe, like it's also people in power and the way that he treats the robots. Is that what necessarily makes Oscar Isaac evil in this? But because you want to demonize him for everything he's doing, but you're not really too sure why. But then you see how he treats those robots, and whether they're robots or people, those what people in power will do.
Okay, like here's my perspective on that. Okay, and this is what I think that the film is asking you. Okay, it's several questions. Well, three questions to be exact. Okay, what is it to be human? Okay, what is survival? And what is love? Is love survival? Is it a survival aspect of being human? And what is being human? Is it fucking you being able to make your own decisions?
Uh, that's all good questions. Very philosophical. Like that's one of those things too. Is that without even going right in there, just the story is so well written that they don't have to sit there and do that. Like they don't have to sit there and be like, okay, this
So
is well. Let me ask these questions in the script. It's like no, it's in there. It's underlying. It's a metaphor in a lot of
it's
ways, but it's also very currenty.
it's what I would refer back to my script writing classes as a subtext.
Yeah, very
Okay?
much subtext in there.
And in that part, the other question that you
Just
see
the,
throughout the movie, it's Ava just saying
just
or asking, "What am I?"
Yeah,
just a small
exactly.
thing, and then I'm gonna throw the reins to Pepe again. So, and that's why I say specifically, that's why I wanted to bring up the example of Benjamin Button, and fucking in contrast to this, if you took the AI concept, you know, it still holds the same thing. What is to be human? What is survival? What is to be born in a box? And what is love?
Hmm.
What is human emotion?
And I'm also going to leave off my whole diatribe about sex robots for a minute, but go ahead, Pepe. It's my biggest fear.
So
Is it your biggest fear, or is it
It
one
is
of the
my
things
biggest
that
fear.
you're looking
Listen,
for?
listen, spiders, ghosts, nasty nasties, serial killers, also kind of bad, but sex robots, man. Sex robots scare the shit out of me.
anyway, I mean, there were a lot of different directions to go in this. Okay, I'm gonna, since we're talking about the character of Domhnall and Alyssa Vikander, the AI. Okay, Eva was her name, right?
Ava,
Ava.
Ava.
Ava. Yeah, it's a biblical term because all their names are actually biblical. Because if you look back at the first one, like the first one that he created was Lily, which is probably a playoff of Lilith, who was cast out of. I don't know too much about the Bible, but I do know that she was the first one. She was imperfect, so she was kicked out of the Garden of Eden, and then Eve is Ava. So like, there's a couple of references there, not just like taken directly from Genesis, but like with the whole creator and stuff like that. So there's a biblical reference, in just by their names themselves.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like there's a lot of philosophical concepts that he uses in this picture. Again, like I digress to like to the questions that I think are being asked in this picture. Okay, I think those are like the subtext, but I want to go more directly into like I I see that these performances, specifically Dom Hall and Alyssa Vikander, that it was really, really well performed. Um, and especially a really good. I I'm gonna bring up. I watched Black Widow, and I remember thinking the first act just fucking was so atrocious. Like it just so sucked. Okay. Um, that I was like, what's like why? Like, and then like maybe you guys can agree or disagree with me.
I haven't seen the movie. I can't agree or disagree.
Okay.
I cannot. I
No, no,
cannot
no.
confirm nor confirm.
It's back to Ex Machina. I think the first act, the way that you're presented, Dom Hall, the way that you're presented there, the way that you're bringing to this elusive freaking cell, in a sense, like all in the beginning, the way that you're almost. I see it in a lot of ways. You're like dragged down the rabbit hole, just like Alice. Okay, at the
Alice in
very
Wonderland.
beginning.
Yeah, I was gonna say Through the Looking Glass, which is the sequel to Alice in Wonderland, where she's on a chessboard,
You're like
which is
pulled
soon.
in like for the first like 20 minutes or something. You're like pulled in and you're being introduced like this dumb, in a sense, demonic character of Oscar Isaac, at the very beginning, and very representative of Alice in Wonderland. And that's why I say like you can easily take these like
You got
physical.
like this 13 ghosts house where it's just nothing but looking glasses. Like, you're piercing through, or can you see through it? Can you? Where is this way? Which one does this go? It's all constantly shifting around.
It's a great, great performance. And to say, you said that, her, Vikander's intention doesn't change all that much throughout the film and throughout the scenes.
She
Okay.
knows that she's a rat in a cage. She knows.
And we can get a little further into Oscar in a second.
Mhm.
His performance, because I think he really comes up at the brink of the end of the first act. He's kind of brought into the first act, but really it's not until the second act that he's really an integral part. Uh, if I'm saying that right. Okay. Um, and what I was, but Alyssa Vikander's performance is very good, and I was actually very surprised after seeing that I didn't see her in more stuff. Like her career seems to kind of have like a little bit at least like
Plateaued.
fell by the wayside.
Yeah, it's plateaued a little bit.
Yeah, like it's a little bit, and I feel I feel for her because like that performance was
Oh yeah, it
great.
was amazing. Yeah, I can't even speak. Like, I, I honestly, I think there's maybe like 4 people in this movie, and they all do a fucking fantastic job with what they're given. Because the everything that
Really,
you're given all the tools to make an amazing movie with the right people, and it could just be one little tiny thing to where it's not gonna work, but it
yeah.
works.
When you have like only 4 people, those 4 people have got to be on the top of their game.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Like, and Alyssa Vikander, you see her when she flips the switch.
Uh,
Okay. And she does that with perfection.
And I
Okay.
think we can agree that the key success for this movie is the trio of impressively nuanced performances that they provide, because they kept us constantly guessing what is each character's true intention and motivation, which is brought by these performances that these three characters, the main characters, are impressively done. Because as you mentioned, you believe that it's all well intentioned on behalf of the AI, but we don't even know and we're not sure, and it keeps us guessing all over the movie.
And just to go back to uh, the girl who plays Ava, she the one thing that I just saw that she actually went on to play Laura Croft in the new Tomb Raider movie. I of course didn't see that, but she's also in the movie that we all agreed is probably the one that we're most looking forward to at the end of this month, called The Green Knight. So she plays the lady in peril. So
So we could see her. I hope so. This is one of those actors that I enjoy seeing, that I've enjoyed seeing in this one picture enough where they would be interesting to see in other pictures.
oh yeah, and she
Um,
definitely does a great job.
it. Let me put it this way. I think that Lost in Translation is a great picture.
Mm.
Okay, but I did not walk out of that picture thinking, "Oh, Scarlett Johansson's an interesting actress that I want to like look into."
Right.
It
Well,
wasn't.
her character, I mean, her character wasn't really all that. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for me, it takes a special performer to say, let's see what this person can. This person has talent. This person has something to develop over the years. Anyway, so moving forward, let's move a little further into Act Two, and then after we do the 3 acts, we'll
I
we'll
was.
digress into the more of the pacing, cinematography, direction, and the way that I believe that was just beautifully and masterfully brought together.
Is Act Two when we get that awesome robot disco scene?
Yeah,
Robot
yeah.
disco scene.
The robot disco,
If you haven't seen
the
that,
Oh, man.
pause the video and go watch this. It's really awesome.
robot disco. You got the Jackson Pollock reference.
Uh,
You have, the substance abuse and the isolation of the AI and the human, and how Oscar Isaac purposefully isolates them from him. Okay, all in Act Two. So Evan, why don't you break down Act Two for us?
well, believe that this is around the point where Caleb begins like discovering that he has feelings for Ava. Now he's also seen how he treats, especially like Kyoko, who's only servant, right?
I think that it
So
starts after that dinner where Oscar Isaac badmouths Kyoko.
yeah, and then he also sees on camera him being like, very sexual, and kind of also being very like I don't want to hate to say Harvey Weinsteinish,
Volatile, yeah,
like, but yeah,
volatile,
so like
violent,
so
abusive.
he had even like created, and for her even asking, like, why would you make me as a, as your creator, why would you make me? And it's like, well, he's got a couple of ideas here. Apparently he's going to create a demonic sex robot. Goes back to my fears again. Just one that you see what happens. So, you know, um, not to get too far off topic on that, but there was one that had my ex-girlfriend's name that broke a dude's back uh, just by hugging him too hard. So, it's just the little tiny things here and there.
those traumas are coming back to haunt you.
It's like, well, yeah, what did I do? I didn't do anything. It's like, yeah, well, I didn't, and just made it like you didn't make it that deep. You need a couple more inches deeper. It's like, oh, it's terrible,
Now,
terrible.
Evan, to me, one of the most intense moments on the movie are happening right there when you have those quiet conversations between them, when those power outages occur, and that's when also the red color increases that intensity of it because you know that something's going on and there's a quiet conversation. The way that Ava's character also changes on the intention that on how she's talking, like with fear, to me those were one of the most intense throughout the second act, if we can say so.
That's what I
Yeah.
refer
Well,
to
this was
when
also
just a sec. That's what I refer to when I say you see her flip so beautifully.
yeah. No, this
Like so well. And Dom Hall's reaction to her, because I know it's cheesy as fuck, but back when I actually wanted to direct pictures and I thought that that was a possibility, which it's still a possibility, I would still direct pictures. You know, I'd always tell my actors that I worked with, because I did study that, is, acting is reacting. It's all about your reaction to the performance of the other actor. If you can't do that, you can't fucking act.
well,
Okay.
that's one of the things too
And
that I was gonna say
because
is that with all the it's really only that part where he actually cuts his own arm open after seeing all the androids that he fucked up, and he actually talks with some of them in there, and he like starts to think that maybe he's an android, and he cuts his arm open. Like I was like, all right, so now,
his
but he
flip
finds out he's not.
good. They both do a really beautiful flip, and in that second act, okay, like the second act really, it pulls the movie together. You know, it pulls the movie together, and we can get a little further into the third act, okay? Because I
Yeah,
feel
well,
like
that's where this is where he like she cuts the power, I think, right? And it's all red after Oscar Isaac got drunk. And so then they have this like he tells her that he's planning on getting it. He's going to end up whether she figures things out or not, whether the test is successful or not, he's going to delete her. He's going, and if he doesn't use her for scraps, then he's going to delete her entire memory. And Caleb can't have that. He's like, well, then she won't remember me because he's definitely in love. He's fallen in love with this thing. So he tells her, and then they formulate the plan to get him drunk again, so that he can override the security guard, and they can run off and be together forever, happily ever after.
I mean, they're it's showing you the difference between man and machine.
Yeah, definitely.
Showing you
That's
the
where,
difference.
but yeah,
Also, there's a seal, when you see her putting on her skin, and after this whole occurrence, okay, see her lock him up, and this is after she stabs fucking Oscar Isaac, which is, oh god, like such a scene. It's like sealed up by this like raw visceral carnage, like backed up with this evolution of her character, um that is beautiful. And a great thing to mention is that every single one of the characters have an evolution. Okay, every single one of them. Like you see Oscar Isaac drown into substance abuse and then like recover up, think, and wanting to move forward. You have Dom Hall fall in love and he's, like wanting to go into his future. That's his evolution. And then obviously, Alyssa Vikander has a beautiful evolution to herself, almost putting on a new persona.
Mhm.
Okay. Which is phenomenal. And
Well, when she actually starts putting the after I guess like Oscar Isaac takes the jaw right off of the uh, Japanese one, the Kyoko. He takes her jaw off, and then after that, she takes her skin and starts putting it onto her. So she's like now she's got a skin suit, more or less. She's got
yeah,
herself a meat suit.
like she literally puts on a new skin.
Yeah, because well, she didn't even have that much anyway, so she was just mostly robotic parts, like showing the entire way through. Because I was always noticing, like you could see straight through her to her back thing, and that was one of the other things too that I thought was kind of interesting when I was looking at the model of Ava and how like very well the CGI is gonna hold up for decades. That is really well done, but
Yeah.
but being able to see right through her stomach and look at her backbone means that she doesn't have a womb. So even if what she was to become a woman, she could never actually be one in that sort of sense. That's not to say that the other parts don't work, which I'm sure they do.
I mean, yes. I mean, we know that they work because it's stated
Yeah.
in the film, but
Not just
and
implied.
the evolution of these characters was so beautifully done. And then that I have to mention that this is backed up by epic pacing to the editing and cinematography. Like was perfectly done. Like for this movie at least.
No.
Like you could never shoot this movie in a jarring way. Like you would have had to done this in a slow, sinister way.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I guess and the cat gets out of the bag and she makes her way, leaving Domhnall to or Caleb to his ultimate demise because I don't think he's gonna make it out of there.
No, like I mean, because he gets locked in that
Yeah,
box.
he's and they're in the middle of nowhere too.
Yeah.
So even if he gets out of there, it's like I
Um,
don't think he's gonna make it. But she gets on the helicopter because she is the person that they're going to pick up, and she's just like, "Yeah, oh, yeah, it's just me." And then he takes her to the city, and that was just one of those brilliant parts. It's just like she's seeing the outside for the first time, just like newborn.
yeah, and she goes to the freaking street stop line. Stop
Yeah,
sign.
and she said takes one look into one of those store glass, things, whatever. She sees her reflection and then disappears and becomes one of us. Obviously, fitting in as a human being.
Yeah, I mean, come on, they're gonna figure. They would figure out that they're supposed to pick up a guy. Like that's obvious. But anyway, I still
Yeah,
like the ending.
yeah, but they'd have to be able to get him out of there.
Yeah.
That place is like crazy, like
A
huge.
fortress.
Yeah, like an underground mirror fortress. Very clean though. I'll say that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Like
like a static thing, I think, right?
Immaculate is
Right.
too clean to be true. I mean, if you see there's a lot of windows and a lot of crystals in there,
No
everything is
smears.
pristine. It's
Yeah.
pristine
Hey
clean.
man, the floors look.
yeah, like I really enjoyed this film. I'll rewatch it a bunch of times. Like it's super cool. And and like I said, I think it's gonna last a long time. Like, a lot of parts to it are really aesthetically aesthetically pleasing, but at the same time really well put together like story. Okay.
It was well shot. Obviously, the places that you are shot that are inside, you feel claustrophobic. I mean, there are tight spaces. There's long hallways. There's the placing of the camera shows you how exactly it should be shown that you're close. You cannot escape. For example, the scene that you're telling about, just Oscar Isaac not being able to escape. It's a long hallway that you know your imminent end is coming, and there's no way that you can escape.
Yeah, I mean it's built like to not to locked in a box, you know. Like they are all, you know, what is it like to be born locked in a box?
Yeah. The only thing that I don't like that it doesn't work is that repetitiveness of the movies that we have seen lately about AI. It's like the AI is going to turn on you, the AI is going to be coming to end the humans world. That's the only thing that for me doesn't work. There is an evil twist in there, but still it's the same repetitive story that we have seen on the AI is going to take over.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can see it. You know, there's gonna be certain people that enjoy this type of movie, and there are gonna be certain people that do not. Like for me, that's something that I question a lot. You know, AI, evolution of technology, things like that, in a more philosophical sense. You know, what is it gonna mean? Like, what are we gonna be in like X amount of years? Like, um, are we gonna be like like have chips on our head and shit like that alter and enhance the humanity? Like, you
Saying
know, so
in them out of
I
here.
personally enjoy like the question of AI being evil, like and stuff. But other people think it's just repetitive. You know, I hate to say, but that's the question that we're going to be asking until we actually have AI.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
I believe
for what
that
Elon Musk says, it's right around the
we
corner.
start the questions and scientists gather the data to prove it.
Well, that's what this also covers too. You know, it's like with all the Elon Musk things coming out, he's saying what we should be thinking about AI, and that we should all be scared of that more than pretty much anything else. And it goes back to like the old Skynet thing from Terminator. You know, it's like what's
Yeah.
the or the Matrix, like
Yeah.
So it's
Or
the
the Imitation Game, or Chappie, or Her as well. There's a list of a lot of movies that have brought into the idea of AI and how it should be. I mean, Transcendence as well. That's another one that it's a bit twisty in the way that you're looking into AI.
Yeah.
that was the Johnny Depp one.
This is a
Mhm.
question that goes back all the way since, like, I mean, you could go even further. The primary one that I can think of is 2001. Like, you know, probably one of the big starts of that question. Um, you know, but goes back for a long time that we've been questioning what is AI and what is it going to become and and is it evil or is it not? What is it to be human? You know, all these questions are in my eyes, like, I hate to say it, but like they're fun questions for me to contemplate. Um,
Yeah,
but
and then it's very good because there's that fine line in between of artificial intelligence and a robot. If it means
yeah,
the same, if it is the same thing, because one is an idea, one is a way of being, and then you start saying, okay, you have a C-3PO from Star Wars that is just a plain robot that has upper intelligence, or you can even go to the pleasure replicant in Blade Runner. I mean, because talking about sex and robots. Uh,
there's
Blade
like
Runner had that idea as well.
there's this like gray zone of like, you know, all the different degrees of AI and all the different degrees of to be human. And so, like, hey, like I said, certain people are gonna like these movies, certain people aren't. But I don't think that we're gonna stop making movies. And I truly, like, I think that these are a lot of, you know, I heard a good quote earlier. It's like this year, and I forget who said it, but he said, there should be a little more art and science, a little more science and art. Okay, and I think it's true. Like, but a lot of the fucking crazy ass like NASA questions, like have been asked by science fiction writers, and then they back up the data to actually prove like these like crazy off the wall like ideas. you know I think that's how it will always continue, in a sense. Like, so I think we're meant to like ask the nuts questions, in order to see if like there's any bearing on reality. I think that if you can think it, it's usually able to be created.
Absolutely.
You know, so those are all like cool questions that are being asked in this movie. I think they ask these questions better than most films. Okay, what is it to be human? What is it to be robot? What is it to be an AI? What is an AI? You know, uh, what is love and emotion, and what is it like to be born and enclosed in a box, isolated from humanity.
There it is. All good questions.
So like those are cool. And the pacing of this movie, I'd like to mention, is so well done. Like the way that they like open you up, drag you into a rabbit hole, and then like pull you out is magnificently done.
Yeah, for everything from the writing to the acting to the special effects, even the set design.
Yeah, simple, but the set design is great. Like,
Because it doesn't need to be anything more than what it is.
Even though it's just shot in one location and you always see that, I never felt that it was too repetitive or that it was too claustrophobic, but you get that feeling that you're trapped in the box.
it's very unique. It is slim, the amount of pictures that are done in this way. When done, it's beautifully. um I wouldn't call this a one location it is a one location, but they broke it up into several different sets within that location. um but I saw the similarity in this when I was just reviewing it in my mind to 12 Angry Men, even though those have many more actors in it. It is similar in the sense that they're like blocking you in and isolating you from the rest of civilization.
Yeah.
You know,
It's extremely isolated. And that was because that was what he wanted. He wanted to be isolated out there so he could conduct his questionable research.
yeah,
And not have like anybody, because he was the CEO of their company, not to have anybody sitting there being like, okay, well, this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing. He's like trying to make like the ultimate AI. And if he had like all those yes men or anyone else, or that something could slip, and go out. So that's why, when he's like, they're like, oh, this is a really big deal for you to go out there and meet him. You won the contest, or blah blah blah. And all he's thinking is like, okay, so if she can pull one over on this guy, then, and she tricks him into thinking that she's actually real, then I've done it. Eureka! I figured it out.
yeah. No. Like it was really cool. Like Like I super enjoy this movie, and there's a reason why I wanted to just bring this up because I think that everybody should watch this movie. It's like it's not the everyday like sci-fi movie, and I think there are sci-fi movies for just sci-fi junkies, okay, and then there are these type of movies that are like for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. And this one, like I said, a good story, you could take other things out of it, like the aesthetic aspects of it, and you could still hold that story.
Yeah, that's one of those things too. I was just thinking about when you said that. I was thinking about this movie called The Ice Pirates, and it's probably one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen in my entire life. And the robots are like these aliens on a thing, and they're just farting all the time. So that's about all you need to know about that movie.
Yeah. No, but like this one, it could have easily been a prison inmate. Like easily, and like you would have had to make some changes to the story, but the structure could have stayed the same. Everything could have stayed the same, like essentially. And those are the really beautiful stories. Like you can do that with you can do that with The Godfather, like you could easily do that with The Godfather and just change it and it'd still be a great story.
Yeah.
You know.
Like comparing Ex Machina to or Ice Pirates to Godfather in just one quick discussion.
Yeah, no,
Ex
not
Machina to bring them together.
But the same thing with like Apocalypse Now, like it's just placement. Great movie. I'd love to do a breakdown. Yeah, I'd love to do a breakdown of Apocalypse Now.
Might be able to do that one.
I'm down.
I don't know. Unless we get something in the comments that's something a little bit more. I don't know. There was someone on our Facebook page that put some of them up. I'll run by some of those with you guys and.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that. But I give like this movie. This is one of those movies. It's just like a 5-star movie for me. It's like super well. It's one of my favorite newer films. Let's call it. And newer, I mean like from the last 20 years.
2015 movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's still like I think this movie's gonna hold for years and years and years to come. Like, and so I love watching it. Like, it's a great, great, great picture and super well casted. Like all of it, really good. But unless you guys have anything else to add on this breakdown,
I think that concludes our discussion of Ex Machina for the time being. Until like we see some comments and we feel the need to retort.
yeah, like, but
I think we nailed it.
I think that was the full breakdown of the Ex Machina, and I hope we can look forward to some more pictures by Alex Garland. Even though I have to say that I did not really like Alienation,
Annihilation.
Annihilation.
I didn't like Alienation either. That was a deep cut. That's a TV show from the early '90s.
Anyway, Annihilation was I didn't like it. I thought it's just not as.
Whenever people tell me about Annihilation, I just give them the soundtrack. It's like whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wasn't that good? Like,
But he didn't. That was not the one that he wrote. He actually had done the screenplay off of a book that somebody else wrote. So you know, it can't all be hits.
yeah, like I didn't. I wasn't feeling. But
But also Oscar Isaac also in that one too.
yeah, and he like went for Natalie Portman on that one instead. So
Yeah.
similar look.
Also, though, I just thought about this too. In Dread, Domhnall Gleeson plays this computer hacker guy that has like robotic eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in that too. So it's like people like working with him. Obviously he's very talented. He knows what he's doing. Brendan Gleeson, his father, was in 28 Days Later with him too. So it all just fucking comes through.
Yeah. Brendan is a great.
People love working with that guy.
Brendan Gleeson is a great actor.
Amazing. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but Dom Hall is he's up and coming, and I think he's gonna be really good. Like,
And also, just to say that too, Domhnall Gleeson and Oscar Isaac, also in the last 3 Star Wars movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was the commander
He was
on the
General
ship.
Hux. Yeah,
Yeah,
General Hux.
he's their insider, and Oscar Isaac obviously is a Poe Dameron.
I'm sorry, these are the Star Wars fans talking about Star Wars. I can see Nick just going like, "What the heck are they talking about?"
The hell's a Poe Dameron?
like,
It's an Oscar Isaac. And Natalie Portman in the Star Wars thing. It all comes full circle, man. It's all connected.
yeah.
All right. Well, do you guys want to do some sign-offs, shout-outs, anything?
Well, thank you everybody for watching. Leave your comments and all that stuff, and likes and subscribes, and donate.
Leave your comments in the comments section.
Patreon and all that stuff. And now a special shout out to our Patreons, Evan.
Yeah, we got Anissa, Brad, and Sarah, who is also a very big part of us. She will write articles for anything that she thinks is actually worthy of talking about. So she might have something for this. I don't know if she's seen it or not. And yeah, for that, if you want any of our exclusive content, it is all on our Patreon and all some swag too. So in case you pledge to our Patreon, helps us keep the lights on, and maybe we can get you like a T-shirt or a mug or something like that, And always give you shout outs every single time. So, yeah. Also, I want to give a shout out to Scar City Brewery. They've been one of our sponsors for a very long time, and hopefully we can get some more sponsors of the same ilk working with us. I haven't been doing that whole whatever thing where you get like publicizing and getting people to sponsor. I should be doing more of that, but it's, I do what I do. But Pepe, you have any shout outs?
I just appreciate you guys for the invite. It's always fun to be learning alongside you guys. Just check out my YouTube channel, Pepe from Mexico. I add all of the shows that these guys are doing so you can reference them. And follow me at DSP4WN. And it's always fun. Thank you very much for the invite.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Of course,
That was great to have you.
It was fun to have you, man. And so we'll see you next. Like I said, comment for the next movie for us to break down, and our next show is going to be Rumors and Reviews that Evan will be hosting. So
for August, the month of August.
yes, This will
the
be
next one.
and
Plus,
then-
we have something pop up in between. We might be able to do a top 5 here or there. That's So that's if we do. I don't know.
we can
that's-
talk
that's
more
10.
about this.
But yeah, any ideas that you guys have for the breakdowns too? Like definitely comment in the comments section. No, we'll definitely take it on. So that we've had some people give some pretty decent ideas, and some of them were not good ideas, but I still would love to talk about them.
Yeah, like an idea might be like to do a breakdown of Dark Knight.
That's one too.
Like that's a newer film that a lot of people enjoy. I personally do not like Nolan. Everybody kind of knows that, I think.
If it was The Dark Knight Rises, I could do my Bane impression on it.
But The Dark Knight was really good. It's a good picture.
It is.
You
Well,
know?
it's nice to talk about some good pictures every once in a while. All right, but on the podcast, we're going to be discussing another good movie. This is very off topic, but you guys should definitely watch it if you haven't yet. It's a Korean film from 2015 called Train to Busan. Now, this is a zombie movie, so just be forewarned. But if you don't cry at the end of that movie, you have no soul.
No spoilers.
Yeah.
It's a zombie movie. It's a zombie apocalypse. I mean, what do you expect? There's a lot of people dead. But yeah. Thanks everyone again. Thank you, villains, and we'll be seeing you guys soon.
Awesome. Peace out.
Adios.